So this lecture we are going to solve question number 12, exercise question number 12 from page number 122. And the question number 12 is their capital fund is not given to you. The requirement is to prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet for current year. But you need to prepare balance sheet of the last year as well. Why? Because capital fund is not given to you. To find out the capital fund, you need to prepare this balance sheet of the last year. I am giving you 2 minutes time to make the ruling fast, make it fast, so that we can proceed with the solution. जैसे आपका रूलिंग होता है मुझे बता दो, so that we can proceed with the solution. Okay, I am reading the problem for you. Following is the resident payment account of Dhananjay Library, Mumbai. वहां पे लिखा है in the books of Dhananjay Library in the bracket Mumbai. For the year ending 31st March 2020. This is the current year, by the way. It is called as the current year. 31st March 2020. The resident payment account is given to you and the information is given to you. Let us see what is the information given to you. You are required to prepare income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st March 2020 and a balance sheet on that day. Following information is also made available to you. On 31st March 2019, मतलब last year में क्या था? Okay, library had following assets: books, furniture, and machinery. Amounts are given to you. So actually, these are the assets of the last year to be recorded in the last year asset as well as current year asset. Last year के asset में तो एक ही column बनाया मैंने. You can see that I have prepared only a single column here because there is no adjustment for the last year. मतलब last year के लिए कोई adjustment करने की जरूरत नहीं है. करेंगे कर भी नहीं सकते according to accrual concept, है ना? वो last year का है. But current year it will appear in the balance sheet asset subject to adjustment inner column, otherwise also outer column. Then subscription received in advance amounted to 500 rupees. Now tick mark subscription in the receipt side. Outstanding salaries are 1,300. Rent is 950. Tick mark salaries and rent in the payment side. 50% of admission fees should be capitalized. Tick mark admission fees. Furniture depreciated at 10% per annum. अभी आपका adjustment number 1 में जो furniture आपको दिख रहा है उसको tick mark करना है. So you are supposed to put a tick marking for furniture. You can see in the adjustment. Furniture को मैंने tick marking कर किया, देखो ऐसा, like this. Library books were purchased on April 2019 and charged 10% depreciation per annum. कहाँ पे है? Okay. Look at the payment side. Buy books. Okay. And also it is subject to depreciation. तो library books जो आपके पास है, books you are having 50,000. उसके लिए भी आपको double tick marking करना पड़ेगा. उसके लिए double tick marking करो. One for purchase and one for the depreciation. मतलब देखो adjustment number 1 में जो asset है books and furniture उसको आपको tick marking करना है. Then investment were purchased on April 2019 That is in the beginning of the year only. Also books in the beginning of the year only. And they carry interest of 20% per annum. Now tick mark investment in the payment side. अब पेमेंट साइड में जरा चेक करो आपने टिक मार्किंग कैसे कैसे किया है इस तरह से टिक मार्किंग होना चाहिए ओके in the receipt side the tick marking is for admission fees and subscription in the payment side it is for salaries and rent and book investment and the books okay now let us begin with the solution how to solve the problem is very important in the case of the not for profit concern okay as a procedure I told you that you should record the assets and liabilities of the last year first अब देखो कैसे रिकॉर्ड करना है पहले look at the adjustment number 1 okay library had the following assets books are rupees 50,000 to be recorded in the last year balance sheet asset okay there is only one column तो एक ही column में आ जाएगा and in the current year balance sheet assets but in the inner column here you need to actually leave 2 lines in this way then furniture last year balance sheet assets amount of furniture 6,500 and the current year balance sheet assets inner column 6,500 then there is a machinery also 30,000 last year balance sheet assets 30,000 and current year balance sheet assets but in the outer column you can see that all the assets of the last year are recorded in the last year balance sheet assets as well as current year balance sheet asset but current year में जब हम लिखते हैं you are supposed to write with the adjustments okay so after looking at the adjustment number 1 now look at the payment side we are starting with the payments recording of the payments salaries 9,000 to be recorded to expenditure side as the 2 salaries inner column 9,000 rupees rent expenditure side inner column 7,500 then investment by the way this is asset and this will appear of course only current year last year में आने का कोई चांस ही नहीं है ये current year में आने वाला है inner column में लिखो investment made is a 6,000 rupees then there is a stationery 1,350 to be recorded to expenditure side stationery 1,350 rupees then books electricity charges 850 expenditure side to electricity charges electric charges you can write in this way also electric charges 850 rupees then books are newly purchased of rupees 5,000 so books में add करो newly purchased books add in books rupees 5,000 so the value of the books is now 55,000 now look at the adjustment number यहाँ पे कुछ दिया नहीं है हाँ yes look at 6th adjustment when the books are purchased it is purchased on April 2019 वो डेट अगर दिया है तो आपको ब्रैकेट में लिखना चाहिए और क्या April 2019 okay what do you mean by this that means you are going to calculate the depreciation on books on both the books but the last year 50,000 current year purchase 5,000 for 50,000 plus 5,000. On 55,000 we are going to calculate depreciation for full year. अगर ये डेट अलग होता, accordingly we should calculate on 50,000 full year and 5,000 half year, 3 months like that. वो फाइनल अकाउंट में हो चुका है सर. Then our next item is very important. Your complete concentration required. By outstanding expenses of 18-19, these are outstanding expenses of a last year. It will not appear to expenditure side. No. Then where to record? These are outstanding expenses of the last year. मतलब last year में outstanding था, तो last year के liabilities में लिखना चाहिए. एक दो लाइन छोड़ के लिखो. Outstanding expenses. Outstanding expenses. So these are outstanding expenses of the last year amounted to rupees 500. अगर हमने लास्ट ईयर का बैलेंस शीट बनाया नहीं होता, मतलब आपको कैपिटल फंड दिया है मान के चलो, in that case what to do with the outstanding expenses paid for the last year? Nothing doing, no entry, not to record anywhere, क्योंकि वो लास्ट ईयर का आउटस्टैंडिंग था. Okay, please remember this. If the item specifically given to you, outstanding expenses of 2018-19, मतलब last year, if you are having the balance sheet of the last year, then only it is to be recorded or to the last year balance sheet liabilities. Only एक ही जगह पे आने वाला है. अगर आपके पास ये बैलेंस शीट नहीं है, इसको करने की जरूरत नहीं है, मतलब कैपिटल फंड दिया है, then you will not record that item. Then balance carried down 4,650. Now we don't know what is the exact balance. मतलब cash in hand है या cash at bank, मालूम नहीं है, लेकिन है. तो कैसे लिखेंगे आप? Current year balance sheet assets. You should write as a cash oblique bank. Amount of the cash oblique bank balance is 4,650 rupees. 4,650. Now the receipt side. To balance brought down 5,000 rupees. Now actually this is the cash or bank balance of the last year. Cash or bank balance of the last year. We are having the balance sheet of the last year. So there you are supposed to write cash oblique bank. मतलब ये last year का balance है, तो last year के asset में चला जाएगा. It is to be recorded to last year balance sheet asset. Last year balance sheet asset 5,000 rupees. Admission fees to be recorded to income side, because actually this is basically a income. उसका adjustment हम लोग बाद में करने वाले हैं. So admission fees to be recorded to income side, inner column 4,500. एक लाइन छोड़ दो. Subscription to be recorded to income side, subscription. Okay, so subscription received is given to you 20,000, inner column. एक ही एडजस्टमेंट है. लेक्चर हॉल हायर चार्जेस, दिस इज इनकम. लेक्चर हॉल हायर चार्जेस, हमने मतलब हमारा लेक्चर हॉल किसी को दिया था रेंट के ऊपर, तो उसका हमको पेमेंट मिला. दिस इज इनकम फॉर द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. मिसलेनियस इनकम, miscellaneous income, sundry income, other income. So this is just the income. We record it to income side. And the next item is a very, very important. You are supposed to write the same in the inner column. Why inner column? Okay. Interest on investment. आपको ये inner column में लिखना पड़ेगा, because there is an investment given to you. Okay. On which the interest we are going to calculate for at the rate 20% per annum. ओके मैंने इसका टिक मार्किंग आपको शायद बताया नहीं था, लेकिन करना तो पड़ेगा. ओके, सो इन दिस वे व्हाट एंड हाउ वी स्टार्टेड एंड रिकॉर्डेड. सी In the case of a not-for-profit concern, you should read the questions very carefully. First of all, to understand whether capital fund is given or not. So you should look at the problem as if you are scanning the problem. पहले अच्छी तरह से प्रॉब्लम को स्कैन करो, फिर आपको पता चलेगा कैपिटल फंड दिया है तो लास्ट ईयर बैलेंस शीट तैयार करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. But if it is not given, then you need to prepare last year balance sheet. Number one. Number two, to find out the assets and liabilities of the last year. Okay. जैसे यहाँ पे books, furniture, machinery, last year asset also recorded in the current year. Okay. Then we recorded all the payments. Some are expenses recorded to expenditure, while books purchase added in the books. But last year outstanding expenses paid, it is only to be recorded to last year balance sheet liability side. Then buy balance carried down, that is the cash in hand or cash at bank, will appear to current year balance sheet asset. And then receipt side, to balance brought down, it is the cash or bank balance of the last year. So last year के asset में हो जाएगा. Then we recorded all incomes, admission fees, subscription, lecture, hall hire charges, miscellaneous income, interest on investment. अब interest on investment मैंने inner column में क्यों लिखा आपको मैं बताता हूँ. Okay. Look at the investment. This is newly purchased investment 6,000, which is subject to interest of 20% per annum. If you are calculating 20% of the same, it is coming 1,200. Out of that 900 received, that is 300 outstanding interest is there. Look at the last adjustment, you will understand. Okay. मतलब पूरा interest हमको 1,200 मिलना चाहिए था. मिला कितना 900. So 300 interest is still due. Okay. That we will see later on. Okay. अब देखो, look at the adjustment number 2. Subscription received in advance 500. This is pre-received subscription minus from subscription. That is not mentioned when. That means it is for current year. Current year में मिला next year के लिए advance. Now leaving 4 lines, 4 lines at least. You record the same in balance sheet liability side. Pre-received subscription, less from subscription, and balance sheet liabilities side. Outstanding salaries are 1,300. Rent is a 950. This is for current year. Current year का outstanding add करो. Outstanding salaries 1,300. Outer column 10,300. Outstanding rent is a 950. Outer column is 8,450. And balance sheet liability said outstanding salary 1,300, while the rent outstanding is 950. Total outstanding expenses are 2,250. Then the next adjustment, 50% of the admission fees to be capitalized. क्या करना है इसका? Capitalize करो, मतलब capital fund में add करो. Okay. Less from admission fees 50% capitalized. Okay. इसका 50% मतलब कितना होता है? 2,250. Outer column it is 2,250. Now what to do? Second effect, capitalize, add in capital fund. हमको मालूम नहीं है capital fund कितना है. We don't know. But you write here, add admission fees. Admission fees are to be added. ओके, ये तो बाद में मिलेगा ही, वी विल गेट इट लेटर ऑन। सो कैपिटलाइज करो मतलब क्या है? 50% कैपिटलाइज, 60% कैपिटलाइज, 40% कैपिटलाइज, 1/4 कैपिटलाइज, बात एक ही है। Minus from that particular item and add in capital fund. Minus from that particular item and add in capital fund. Okay. Furniture depreciated by 10% per annum. तो फर्नीचर के लिए 10% डेप्रिसिएशन चार्ज करना है। वेरी सिंपल, माइनस फ्रॉम फर्नीचर। ओके, and to be recorded to expenditure side, to depreciation on furniture, but record in the inner column only, because we want to calculate the depreciation on books as also. According to adjustment number 6, the depreciation on the books is 10% full amount. So 10% depreciation. 5,500. Outer column it is 49,500. And then expenditure side, depreciation on books, it is 5,500. Total depreciation is a 6,150. 6,150. And the last adjustment and the last point is interest on investment. Already मैंने आपके सामने calculate करके रखा है. You can see that actually the interest on investment is 20% for full year. Why full year? Because the investment is also purchased on April 2019. तो इसका भी पूरा डेप्रिसिएशन आएगा ना मार्च 20 तक, पूरा इंटरेस्ट आएगा मार्च 2020 तक. Full year interest is 1,200. Out of that, already received by organization, that is 900. So that means 300 is outstanding. What to do? Add in the interest on investment outstanding 300, outer column 1,200, and add in the investment as well, outstanding interest. Now I am writing in the short form, please understand this. तो आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट आउटर कॉलम में जाएगा 6,300. Now the question is how to close this. आप क्लोज कैसे करोगे? First of all, you need to close the last year balance sheet. ये पहले आपको क्लोज करना पड़ेगा. $91,500. It is like a single entry. Do you remember? Assets minus liabilities is equal to capital. And here it is capital fund. So your capital fund is coming 91,000 to be recorded to balance sheet, current year balance sheet liability side. मतलब ये आपको capital fund मिलेगा. Total of the last year balance sheet is 91,500. Minus from that liabilities का मतलब 500 मैंने minus किया. You are getting the capital fund as a net amount 91,000, which is recorded in the balance sheet liabilities inner column. Okay. चलो अभी close करो. Find out the surplus or depreciate. Okay. And then take the total of the balance sheet as well. करा. Look at the income and expenditure account, see which total is more. Take the total of the income side, then expenditure side, compare. इनकम टोटल ज्यादा है तो सरप्लस आने वाला है, एक्सपेंडिचर ज्यादा है तो डेफिशिएंट आने वाला है. There is a marginal difference, मतलब बहुत मामूली सा फर्क है, इसलिए you must be very careful about calculation. It is better you write with pencil the total. I know because there is a surplus. So surplus is only 300 rupees. Surplus, or you can say excess of income over expenditure. Add in capital fund में add करो and take the total in the outer column. And now make your balance sheet tally. That is the tally answer. Okay. In the next lecture, I will take the question number 13 and 14 as well.